we were having a little bit of a wait, but then came the Polymega news. What's going on, everyone? It's Rich Hayward here for Bacon Ice Cream Productions and Team RTFC, welcoming you to yet another episode of the Good Times Newsline Flashcast. Yeah, that's right. That's right. We're back here with some Polymega oriented news, which is pretty awesome. I was perusing some stuff on the interwebs, as I do. Found a notification. Shout out to whoever that was that threw me a mention. I think it was on Blue Sky. Can't remember the username, but thank you for that. Which prompted me to go ahead and check my email. And inside my email was a little message. Let's read the message, shall we? It's Polymega Collection. Says celebrate the groundbreaking roots of the adventure game genre. And the influential and enduring arcade shooter Tempest with Polymega Collection Volume 11 and 12. That's right, yeah, we got some new Atari collections featuring new playable retail kiosks for Atari 2600, 7800, and what was that? Jaguar. That's right. Jaguar availability for the Polymega Collection and the Polymega being able to emulate said things is here. That's pretty awesome. So let's check it out. We got Polymega Collection 11, which is Adventure. Got the classic thing right there. And then Polymega Volume 12, which is Tempest, which just got the classic art right there. All right, cool. It says head over to the game shop to get your copies today. These titles are officially licensed and in production with an estimated ship date of early July. We are now shipping Strikers 1945 and Bases Loaded. If you haven't gotten yours yet, now would be a great time to add them to your collection. Team Polymega. So that's the other part of this news. I did actually get my shipping notification from my shop app saying, hey, Strikers and Bases Loaded actually shipped. So they should be here probably sometime late this week, early next week. We'll do box openings and impressions and all that kind of stuff. Actually, just put them on the pile because we need to get to that. So, what about these collections, huh? Let's go ahead over to the shop itself and check these out, shall we? Let's go over to the games. All right, we got the games tab on the polymega.com/collection/games site. Well, let's check out Polymega Collection 11 Adventure, which looks like this. Let's see if we could do this. There we go. All right, so we've got the cool art there. Can I do this one? There we go. All right. So we've got cool looking things there. Nice little pin. Very interested in that. Got the cabinets. Look at that kiosk thing. That's a pretty cool thing. I wonder if that's in their kiosk mode. It is. Okay, don't have to worry about that. It definitely does do that. That's cool. You add another little overlay, which is neat. You got the Lost Tomb overlay there. And then you've got this right here. I'm going to mute. It says available now. Atari Adventure Collection, Collection 11. Game defining classics from 1980. What do we got? Adventure, of course. Plus 9 more from and dark and mysterious titles from the Atari archives. Okay. Haunted House is on here. All right, that's cool. That's the Atari version of Night Stalker. That looks like Sword Quest. Very cool. More Sword Quest. All righty. Dark Cavern. Yeah. Heck yeah. Dark Cavern 7800. Yeah. Very cool. Oh, that's Dracula on the links. That's cool. Lost Tomb. Very, very cool. There's the adventure little thing. Very neat. Very neat. Let's go down and see what the full games list is. Okay, it says available now on Polymega. Well, we are on polymega.com, so there's that. That's pretty neat. So we'll go on down here. It's $39.99. PMCD AT02, which is interesting because I thought there was two. Were there two Atari collections already? Asteroids? No, it was Asteroids and Data East. All right, cool. So yeah, so it does have the AT for Atari. This is the second collection in that that thing. Let's see what the games list is. That's pretty cool. So step into the primordial mist of video game history, the specially curated Polymega collection celebrating groundbreaking roots of the adventure game genre, headlined by Adventure for the Atari 2600, pioneering title that brought mechanics to pen and paper the mechanics of pen and paper RPGs to the screen. This collection explores the eerie, imaginative, and also often mind-bending early days of interactive storytelling. I kind of like the way that they're grouping these games as like they're all sort of connected. You know, like this is like the spooky, mysterious kind of thing. They had the sports stuff, you know, racing things. It's the curation is kind of cool here. Also included the moody and quest-driven classics from the Atari 2600 era, such as the flickering fear of Haunted House, the mixed media storytelling of the Sword Quest trilogy, and the sci-fi tension of the Secret Quest, each pushing the limits of narrative and atmosphere on limited hardware. Rounding out the collection is Dracula the Undead for the Atari Lynx, a virtually animated gothic thriller that shows how adventure game genre matured to the early 1990s, featuring fully playable and immersive Atari 2600 and 7800 retail kiosks. This disc is more than a game collection; it's a living museum of early digital storytelling. That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And then the games list is Adventure 2600, Dark Chambers 2600 and 7800. They're very different games. Dark Chambers 2600 and 7800. So that's basically two games in one. Earthworld, Fireworld, and Waterworld, which is awesome. Airworld was released in another pack or whatever. They kind of like cobbled together. Secret Quest, a game I've never played, so that's a discovery game for me. Dark Cavern, which is the that's Night Stalker, the M Network. Night Stalker for the 2600 plays a little bit different than Night Stalker itself, but still it's pretty cool. Haunted House, Lost Tomb, the arcade version, which we saw in Dracula the Undead on Lynx. Some of these games aren't on the old Evercade. They use these guys as are some of the other ones too. So, but this is another one that's like, you know, oh yeah, I mean, Adventures on everything. Dark Chambers is on both on the arcade. And you can get Night Stalker on the Evercade and Haunted House and Dracula the Undead. And now I think Lost Tomb is on one of the collections now, or the one that's coming out soon, Atari Arcade 2. But the Sword Quest games, I mean, other than Atari 50, I haven't seen that. And Secret Quest, I don't think I've ever seen that at all, which is neat. What's included: Polymega game DVD, the visual companion controller reference, the Polymega collection sticker, and a pin that has the adventure stuff. And it says in production, ships early July, and 2025 Atari Interactive. That's awesome. That's a cool thing. I like the collection. I like the way it looks. You know, I always like the way that the Polymega collections look in and of themselves. That's a cool one. That's a cool collection. Let's see what we got on the other one. All right, so we've got Polymega Collection 12 Tempest, looking cool. That's a little Tempest pin there. That's neat. It's very cool. Look at all those. Ooh, I see Berserk. I see Black Widow. I see Quantum. There's Tempest, Major Havoc. This is looking like a pretty good collection. There's that Jaguar. There's a Jaguar kiosk. That's pretty cool. There's iRobot. They just released the remake version for Jeff Minner on everything, including the Atari VCS. There's your Tempest action. Or actually, no, that was Quantum, right? And then this is Tempest. Let's see here. What do we got here? This video now available. Tempest. Atari Tempest Collection 12, featuring the arcade classic Tempest, plus more arcade classics. Yes. Okay. Very cool. Yeah, some of that action. That's very cool. That's Major Havoc, right? Black Widow. Ooh, Black Widow. That's cool. Original Black Widow's neat. Berserk. Very neat. Very neat. That's pretty cool. Plus the Tempest 2000. All right, for Jaguar. That's awesome. Why do they have checkered flag on that? Are they going to bring more games? Do you have more? Are there more Jaguar games on here? All right, let's find out. Very cool. Very cool. Looking at this is cool. $39.99 again. Of course, it's a Atari AT03. That's that. Few early classic arcade games have withstood the test of time as well as the iconic Tempest, and continues to entertain today with tight controls and fast-paced action. This collection of early digital masterpieces features the groundbreaking arcade classic Tempest, playable with a Polymega's special quadra-scan vector display mode, as well as its impressive port Tempest 2000 for the 64-bit Atari Jaguar, a new system now playable for the first time on Polymega. Very cool. Volume 12 also features a curated section of other notable Atari arcade titles, including Major Havoc, Black Widow, and Quantum, or have a taste of running gun action with Berserk and Frenzy, each playable with fully immersive arcade mode support. For the true aficionados, there's iRobot, an arcade game from 1984 that pushed the visual boundaries for its time, and it's with its innovative polygonal 3D graphics and tight gameplay, which predated the 32-bit era by at least a decade. And the games list is Tempest Arcade, Tempest 2000 Jaguar, Major Havoc Arcade, Black Widow Arcade, Quantum Arcade, iRobot Arcade, Frenzy Arcade, Berserk Arcade, and the 2600 version of Berserk, which yes, thank you. Thank you. Like, that's just awesome. I mean, I've got a cartridge back there, and I'll have the Atari module so I can put Berserk on there. But that's awesome that they include each version. Like when they have a Berserk was on arcades and was on 2600, or this one was on Super Nintendo and Genesis. You get both versions when you're getting these collections. Thank you. That's awesome. It's just awesome times. What's included? Polymega game DVD, visual command and controller reference, Polymega game sticker, and Tempest Cross Polymega pin. Of course, while supplies last, in production, ships early July. This is cool. This is cool. Take another quick look at this real quick, the disc and the pin and all that stuff. Very neat. Very neat. And what do we have to say about that as we wrap this one up? Awesome. It's awesome. I don't have anything else better to say than that. They're clearly putting the foot to the floor on some of these curation things. The game lists are awesome. You're getting Jaguar now on the Polymega. I don't know how that's going to be playable. We'll find out, because it's got the button things and the, all that kind of fun stuff. But if they could do it for the Atari 50 and put that on every other console and have all those Jaguar games, and you could do it on Polymega, and then that proves that you can get Polymega Big PMU, I guess, emulation on the thing. That must have been part of that latest update, or not the update, the big update, not the one that just happened. Or maybe it wasn't that update and they just didn't say anything. They were like, oh yeah, well, we just put in the Big PMU update. Now it does Jaguar. Cool. Getting another thing that they can continue to put curated games on discs and send you without having to make another module. Because they could just do a Jaguar collection next. Why not? They just fill the whole disc full of Jaguar games, and then boom, there you go. It'd be kind of cool. I mean, maybe they wouldn't do it that way because, obviously with the curation, you would want to find, I don't know, you'd want to find somewhere to get like 3 or 4 of them. Maybe you'll have more Jaguar games coming out on these discs because they had these different versions or whatever of these different games. And that's how we'll get some. But very well done, this one. I'm very excited. Obviously going to get them because, we get them all. But very excited to see how these things perform. And I'm really, really I've been motivated to try to get in the studio and start playing games and that kind of stuff. I have zero time. The last couple weeks have been just absolutely insane for me actually just getting down and playing. But this is great. So well done, everyone. That's it for the news. Get down in the comments below. Let me know. How do you feel? Are you as excited about this as I am? Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? But let me know. Let me know down below in the comments. I read them all. I will get to you and reply as soon as I can to those comments. But that's very cool. I can't wait to grab this. So let's get in there and chat about it. And on the way out, what we got to do? We got to thank every single member of the Good Times Club because they are the engine that keeps Bacon Ice Cream Productions running with this awesome, glorious 1080p StreamYard, which we have, and can keep because of them. Because without their support, man, we'd be in rough waters. So anyway, thank you guys so much for being members on the GTC. You can be a member yourself by hitting the join button if you want. You get exclusive videos. We got a whole exclusive series where I've been playing Magic the Gathering Arena. That's actually been the only thing I've been playing lately. And because the Final Fantasy set is coming and I'm a huge fan and it's just awesome. So if you want to see something like that, you can do that. If not, that's okay. Leave likes, leave dislikes, all that kind of stuff. Definitely leave comments, hit the subscribe button and the other thing. But first, before we do anything else, we're thanking those members of the GTC. So let's do that right now. Let's thank the EverCanadian, Crimson Cross, George Games, Chris Westerman, Fan and Fiction, Lloyd Jim, Papa Pete, The Intellivision Gamer, Ken LaCure, Mr. Shua, John Willard, Gunsy20, Herb Wars, DF, Ken LaCure, nope, said that one already, Joe Whitlash, there you are, David Valdez, Dan Nastic, Dr. Mark Mad Scientist, Alex Groot, Immortal Sojourn, the Atari Creep, and Super Mega Graphics 64. Thank you guys all so much for being members, for being here, for doing awesome stuff. Again, thanks for watching. Get in those comments, hit all the buttons, do all the things, and we'll catch you next time right here on wow. Yes, we'll catch you right here for some good times. I'm Rich, and we'll see you guys later is what I meant to say. And then I meant to say, take it easy, guys. And then I meant to say, I should take a nap. So we'll catch you next time, guys. See ya.
RTSC.baconicecream.com